Hey guys, you've seen me catch a lot of big, beautiful trout like this on video. Why don't you join me on the water? Book a trip with the Kellogg School of Fishing Guide Service, and I will put you on the fish and I'll teach you how to catch them yourself. We're going to be guiding at Collins Lake this fall aboard the beautiful FHS patio boat. Go on over to fishhuntshoot.com and book your trip now, and you'll be yelling, "Fish on" tomorrow. I'll see you there, guys. Now this is kind of a special fish here Wes has got on. This is a prototype lure. It's something that nobody else has, and we've been running it for about 3 minutes, and we've hooked 2 fish. One shook it right away, but this one here is hooked up. Awesome. Very cool. Yeah, I look for a lure like this. It's pretty subtle. It has a ton of vibration, but it doesn't have rattles.
Nice fish. Nice fish.
We call it our Speed Shad, and it works at a variety of different speeds. It works great anywhere from 2 to 3 miles an hour. It's got a lot of good action. Oh yeah, nice. Watch those treble hooks, Wes. They are needle sharp.
Oh yeah, good fish.
Yeah, awesome fish. Very cool. Now, we don't have these in the store quite yet, but they will be in the store very soon. Because every time we've run this lure, we've caught trout on it, and it's kind of interesting. We've caught trout on it in the high country. We've caught trout on it here in the foothills. Howdy guys, Kellogg here. Yeah, that's a new bait. We'll talk about that in a second. But first of all, I got to share with you what's going on. This is just a crazy, exciting time in my life. You know, I'm filming, I'm fishing. Wes and I are messing around with the guide boat. We start guiding on Collins Lake here in I think 3 days or something like that. We got this cool wet weather now in Northern California. All in all, it is just fabulous. It's exciting and it is exhausting, and I feel like I'm always running, 10,000 miles an hour. Let's get back to that bait. That bait, you haven't seen that bait before. That bait is called the Speed Shad. We've been testing this bait for over a year, and it is a killer. It's a killer in valley lakes, and it's also a killer up in the high country, which comes as a surprise to me. Here, let me show you one. This is our smoky back Speed Shad right here. The baits come in 4 different colors, but let's just talk about the bait itself for a second. This is a bait that I developed specifically for valley fisheries where the trout feed primarily on, threadfin shad. It's about the right size. It's a little over 1 inch long. It's big enough to attract the attention of big trout, but small enough to, get hit by pan-sized type trout as well. I've trolled rattle traps quite a bit in the past. Sometimes they work very well. Sometimes though, that rattle is just too much. And when most companies make a vibrating crankbait like this, they put the rattles in it. That's fantastic for bass. That's fantastic for stripers, but for trout, some days it works. A lot of days, it's just too much. And if you're trolling it for king salmon, those rattles are almost always too much. In a lake setting, or even out in the ocean, if we're talking ocean. In a river, different story. But long story short, most of the time, or much of the time, the internal rattles are not your friend when you're targeting trout or landlocked salmon. So, I came up with a solid bait. Let me grab the hooks and shake it. There are no rattles in there. It is not hollow inside. This bait is made out of one solid piece of plastic, and it has those high flash, high luster eyes. The reason I call it the Speed Shad is it works at low speeds. It starts working at about 1.9 miles an hour if you're trolling it, and you can troll it all the way up to and beyond 3 miles an hour. It tracks very true. You can troll it off a lead core. You can top line it. You can troll it off a downrigger, but that's just part of the story. It is a killer trolling bait, as you saw in the beginning of this video, but you can also cast it. You can count it down. You can vertical jig it. You can bounce it along the bottom and rip it. It'll catch trout. It'll catch kings. It catches bass. We've caught a few catfish on them, believe it or not. It just catches fish. It matches the forage and it triggers that predatory response. Now, up in the high mountains like at Lake Davis, I don't know what the fish are thinking. There's no shad in there, but the tight wiggle of this bait triggers strikes there too. Now let me show you the colors. This is the smoky back, kind of a classic shad color. Next, we have the Tennessee shad color that integrates some golden. It still has a black back, but it integrates some gold, some flash on the side. We've got this one here. This is for stained water. This is the perch pattern. It's got that bright red belly. It's got those bars on it. And last but not least, and this one is actually probably my favorite, this is the pearl shad. There's no contrast on this bait. It gives the fish a real solid shad-like silhouette. It has the shad dot. It has the big high luster eye. This is the one that I often reach for. They all catch fish, but you know how it is. You start fishing with your confidence bait and then you have a hard time putting on anything else. So this is the one I often roll with. It works at Collins. It works at New Maloney's. We've caught fish on it at Folsom. It just flat out works. So what I'm doing, I'm offering these in a 4-lure set. Let me see if I can get a hold of them without hooking myself. And also, you'll notice it has the plated hooks. They will not rust in salt water, and they are super duper needle sharp. In fact, I've warned Wes a few times when we were catching fish on these, be extremely careful. The hooks are very, very sharp. They look at this thing, they're getting hooked. Same goes with you, so if you get a set, be careful. So here's our 4 color patterns. I'll hold them up all together. They're all gonna get tangled. I'm back, that's horrible television. Anyway, all 4 baits, I'm moving them out the door. The kit is $30 and you get all 4 of the Speed Shad. I'm showing you here. You can cast them, you can count them down, you can jig them, but most importantly, you control them at a wide range of speeds. You can top line them, pull them off lead core, pull them off your downrigger. They track very true. They will sink, you know, when you count them down. But if you fire this out behind the boat and you start top lining it just on a flat line, you know, you're gonna be probably in that 3 to 4 foot range. If you got, say, 100 feet of mono behind the boat and you're going like 2 miles an hour, 2 miles an hour is a great speed for these baits. So they integrate well with other spoons. You control them alongside flies. I like maximum utility and I like versatility. I like baits that work at a wide range of speeds that I can pair with a lot of other baits so I can figure out what the fish want at any given day. But I also like baits that I can cast with, that I can jig with, that I can catch bass with, you know, that I can catch, you know, pretty much anything that feeds on shad is gonna slam this bait. If you're out in the West Delta and you wanna throw some plugs, you will absolutely catch stripers on these. So anyway, I've rambled enough. I've got stuff to do. I think it's gonna rain here, so I need to do a few more chores today, and then I gotta head over to Collins Lake, have a meeting over there, meet up with Wes, and blah, 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 blah. If you are interested in a set of 4 Speed Shad, go on over to fishhuntshoot.com. You're gonna be the only kid on your block with a set of these. I've got limited numbers now, more on the way, 4 lures, 30 bucks, out the door, headed your way. Get ready to yell fish on. I'm Kel Kellogg. I'm out of here. Thanks for all the support. And once again, if you want your set of Speed Shad, fishhuntshoot.com, baby. I'll catch you later.